favorite sheriff and yours, Sheriff David A. Clarke, who is a regular contributor on Fox News. Well, he was interviewed by Megyn Kelly about this Dallas incident, this Dallas shooting where 5 police officers were killed. And he had an answer for why this happened. And you'll never guess why. Black Lives Matter. That's the answer. Black Lives Matter was responsible. He wants them condemned. He wants them marginalized. He also...
He forgot Obama, too.
Yeah. He blamed Obama as well. How could I forget that? Yeah. But he keeps talking about this war on cops. So we're going to show you that clip just in a moment. But I wanted to talk about this war on cops thing real quick. Like, if this is a war on cops, he talks about there's a war on cops, right? If there is a war on cops, this is the laziest, most ineffective war I've ever seen. And
the individuals who are supposedly waging this war, to me, are slacking off if it's their aim to kill police officers.
Right. Now we're not discounting the lives that have been lost and the police officers that have been killed. We're not discounting that at all. That's important. But if it's a war, when you say war, you're talking about a large orchestrated effort. Like if I say I'm gonna start a war on cheeseburgers, right? You're gonna be like,
I'm gonna plan some deliberate attacks on cheeseburgers.
Yeah, like I'm hitting up Hardee's, McDonald's. I'm cleaning them out. Yeah, that's
Five Guys.
Exactly.
I'm going everywhere.
I'm everywhere. So when you say a war, you're talking about a large number of people, a large systematic process to rid cops of their lives. Do we see that?
No, we don't.
The numbers of cops that are being killed are pretty. They stay pretty level.
They stay pretty level. They're a little up this year.
Right.
Before the Dallas attacks, they were up 17%. They were up 44%. But the reason why the percentage jumped so much, is because it doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason why it's a little up this year is because it was down last year.
Yeah, and see, he started talking about this. I remember him talking about a war on cops last year. And it was around this time too. And at the point that he said it, it was actually down from the year previously, from 2014.
So he doesn't seem to care about facts himself.
No, he doesn't care. But let's go ahead and show you that clip.
It is time for this nation to stand up with one voice and to condemn and shun this movement called Black Lives Matter. I would like to see the Southern Poverty Law Center place Black Lives Matter alongside those other hate groups that were mentioned, these black nationalist groups, the Black Panther Party, the Nation of Islam. It doesn't mean that those organizations will go away just because they're on that list, but what happens is people start to delegitimize these movements and marginalize them. This movement needs to be marginalized. We have looked at this stuff. We have peeled back the layers. We've looked at the data. We've looked at the research. None of their false narrative about the use of force, about the American police officer, can be proved. None of it.
But why,
Zero.
how would that
and so
have,
it is
how
time.
would that have helped
But
this?
Megyn,
Because this guy wasn't part of Black Lives Matter.
It is time for, he said, according to the chief down there, Chief Brown, he was doing this in the name of Black Lives Matter. He said he wanted to kill
The language
white
was
people.
a little different than that. He did say the latter.
Okay, but it is time.
So they've peeled back the data. He's examined everything, and there's nothing going on with law enforcement at all. Black Lives Matter has no legitimate case that there's any brutality at all, even though there's been, I don't know, $7.3 million in settlements in a lot of cases these cities are paying out per month in police brutality loss cases. That doesn't exist.
I'm tired of this guy. I'm tired of him. So he says that what Black Lives Matter is talking about does not exist. It's not provable. Their rhetoric, that narrative, has been refuted, right? But he's sure that there's a war on cops. That can be proved. Like, he's sure that there's a war on cops, and he's sure that Black Lives Matter is to blame.
Is to blame for it.
Okay.
And he just kind of drove right by Megyn Kelly's comment.
Yeah, like that this guy wasn't affiliated with Black Lives Matter.
But you know, I think she let him go purposefully.
Oh, of course she did.
She kind of didn't really challenge him.
Yeah.
He didn't really say that.
But he talks about how we need to push for Black Lives Matter and these other groups
to be considered
hate groups, terrorist organizations.
And you notice he didn't mention like KKK. White nationalists.
Hold on, that just slipped.
Neo-Nazis. He mentioned all those other, He
just forgot about that. Forgot about that. But hate groups, right? Black Lives Matter, right? What does Black Lives Matter want?
Black Lives Matter wants law enforcement reform in a number of areas.
Right.
It's like if you go to their site, join Campaign Zero, you could see.
You would see 10
issues. One of them being like body cams,
right.
One being independent investigations, demilitarize the police.
Yeah.
Like,
so they want justice, they want accountability, they want reform, right? So typically, hate groups usually are groups of people that say, we don't care about your lives. We want to kill you. We want to do you some harm. We want you gone.
And they usually commit acts of violence.
Right.
Acts of violence.
And take credit
yes.
for acts of violence.
Yeah, like hate groups and terrorist organizations.
You think about
they take
ISIS,
credit
right?
for. Yeah.
They take, that bombing over there? That was us.
Mm-hmm.
We take accountability for that.
Yeah.
Now, Black Lives Matter, their whole movement is about, look, our lives, we matter. And we're going to fight to make sure that they do matter. We want justice and accountability. That's what we're fighting for.
And we want justice and accountability from those who are, responsible for making our lives not matter.
Right.
That's all they want.
So how can you frame them as a hate group when they are not about hate? They are about equal rights and equal protection under the law. They want their lives to matter. And you're saying, in essence, that they're a hate group like ISIS that wants to kill people? What? All right. So if Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization, if they're a hate group, who have they killed?
See, it doesn't matter to them. They'll say that they have encouraged the killing of police officers.
But see, we know that Black Lives Matter is like a hashtag, right?
It's a moniker.
Yeah. Everybody can say, anybody can say it. Anybody, there's not like a license that you have to get in order to say the words Black Lives Matter. So if we see rallies, and we've seen like maybe two, where they're talking about we want dead cops or
pigs in a
blanket, fry them like bacon, right? Does that signify the whole movement? Does that symbolize the whole entire movement? Does that speak for everybody that chants Black Lives Matter?
And does it kind of illegitimize all those issues that they bring up?
That they care about, right?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
No.